Hello, welcome back to another video. If you have not already checked, tomorrow is going to be update day. All the things that are in this update have been recorded except for the ones that I haven't talked about yet in this video. So if you want, you can look through my past most recent videos and you can see what's coming in this update, but it mostly includes changes for the Balkans and a focus tree for the Vatican, as well as a bunch of other interesting things, the addition of Egypt, the addition of Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, and other things like that, a bunch of bug fixes and stuff of that sort. Now, this is one day before the update launches, so there's not really too much to talk about, but there are some interesting changes. You can probably notice one right off the bat, and it's that there is a demilitarized zone now. In real life, there is a demilitarized zone. I might change this border if it becomes a problem, if people want it to be more accurate, because I don't think this is exactly 100%. I just wanted to put the DMZ there. So that represents the demilitarized zone, and then this represents what was actually taken from France. And speaking of demilitarized zones, another demilitarized zone was added. Or not really added, but refined, and that is, as you can see, I don't know if you remember, but in base game, this state, the city of Mainz, is a part of Hessen, and Essen right here, and a bunch of this territory in Westphalen used to be owned by the Rhineland state, and now I've just split it so it's on the river. So this river goes on, and then this is just for more interesting borders, I guess. It's just a nice quality of life change. Now, I do know that it still isn't accurate to the actual DMZ because this part of Baden right here was not included in it. I didn't really want to make that its own separate state yet, so I'm yet to do that. I might do it in the future, but so far for me, it's not really a big issue. But these do help with borders in some other spots, so that made more sense to me to focus on now. So that's something I've done. Another change was for these two guys. A very good subscriber of mine pointed out in Discord that Slovakia and Croatia should be satellites, and so they are. You can see now they have satellite status, both of them. So that's been changed as well. And I've also split up more cities before this update releases, just for a little bit more content. That was done to Bucharest. Bucharest now has three tiles. So it has central Bucharest, and then it has these two boroughs outside of it. That way taking Bucharest is a little bit harder. And the same is true for Sofia. Let me know if you are Bulgarian or Romanian, if these are the right boroughs to represent here. These are just the names of the boroughs. Or if there's more like prominent boroughs to name, let me know, because someone did the same thing with this one next to Prague, this part of Prague, this borough. I changed the name to this. So if you have any suggestion like that and you're from this area or you just know a lot about it, let me know and I'll change it, no problem. So that's cool. And now I have an extra state for you guys. Or actually I have another change as well. I have a new province right here. This used to be a part of this new state. It used to include this little province, but I've added this to this because it does seem that Bulgaria took this little part of it, and this area that was separate in the Hellenic state was quite a bit smaller, and it looks more like this. So I've done that to just represent that. I've also added this island to Thrace, so now this is also a part of Bulgaria's occupation zone. And I've also made it so now when Italy collapses, the borders of Bulgaria change. So they occupied this part. I don't really know what this peninsula is called. I think it's this. That might not be the actual name of the peninsula. I honestly don't know. I'm sorry. But I did change the borders so that it is now a lot more accurate. So if I do this, there you go. You can see they get right outside Thessaloniki, but not quite. And also the Hellenic states / Germany and Italy still control Mount Athos, which now is its own city, as well as the city of Polygyros. That's also new. So two new cities there. This is a new province that's been added, and this is also a new province that's been added. So technically two provinces for Greece have been added, along with that one state. So very cool. You get a little bit bigger Bulgaria, a little bit more accurate Bulgaria. Now, as far as Eastern Europe, that's all the changes there, I believe, that I want to talk about. But there have been some changes to the UK, actually a decent bit of changes. The first one is going to be the city of Birmingham has also been split up into three. We have central Birmingham right here, and I just picked two boroughs of Birmingham, one from the south and one from the north, to represent here. I picked Dudley and whatever this one's called. Let me know if that's, again, inaccurate. If you're my subscriber, Lance, you probably know. I also added the city of Oxford, so now you can see Oxford on the map, which is pretty cool. I believe it's in the right location. It might be a little bit too west or north, but just let me know and I'll change that. And I have also split up the city of London, which of course needs a split. If Paris is going to get split, then of course London has to get split. So I've split it into 6 provinces, not as much as Paris. But I'll just explain that real quick. I know that London has quite a few more people than Paris. But I did split Paris into more because you'll be fighting in Paris more often. It's more strategically important, in my opinion. So that's why Paris is more. But if you get really mad at me, I might add more to London. But I think this is fair. We have, this is supposed to be where Westminster is. And then we have just a couple of boroughs here on both sides of the river. So 6 in total. So in total, this used to be a province and this used to be a province. These are added. So technically that's 4 added here and 2 added here. I might also split up Liverpool and maybe Dublin. Although Ireland doesn't really get involved in the war, so maybe not. I don't know. But if not there, let me know what I should split next. Maybe Norway, maybe some more places in Russia, maybe Helsinki. I do want to work on Finland soon, so that would be nice. Maybe Athens, although Greece is already kind of a chore to fight in. I'm not quite sure. Belgrade, maybe. They don't have too many people, but neither does Sofia, to be honest, so maybe I'll split Belgrade. But that's not the only change for England. I have added a new event and a new, I guess, difficulty to invading the British Isles, because a lot of people complain about how easy it is to just kill Britain, and you get a peace deal with all of the allies, which just doesn't make sense. And I know this is controversial, but I have come up with a solution to that. So we are going to del all England, and I'm going to invade the British Isles, and I'm going to kind of show you what I mean. Already, I have landed troops, definitely not through cheating. I've definitely done this plain and simple, you know, as you should. But I have troops here in the bottom of the UK, and they're going to invade through. And I'm going to actually tag switch to Canada, because the new event is actually for Canada. You can see also the Fall of London event still happens. Everything's still the same, except there it would be British troops in Battersea still, and also Hackney. And once London is taken and England fulfills the prerequisites, one of the things is that, of course, Canada has to be a puppet, Canada has to be in the same faction, all that. We get this event. The British Isles are collapsing. The Germans are marching through the British Isles. The royal family have fled and are asking for sanctuary within Canada. If we allow this, we will continue the war ourselves. And what this does is it gets rid of Canada's puppet status, which means that when the UK capitulates, Canada will not capitulate. They will stay afloat. And I know that is controversial. A very good mod that I like a lot is called Darkest Hour. It hasn't been updated in a good bit, and it seems I don't think it will for a long time. But in the Darkest Hour, once you kill England, you don't win. You don't win the war. You don't get a chance to be at peace and get the stability benefits of that, and to annex land and annex Canada and South Africa. It makes no sense. And I am trying to make this mod more realistic. Oh my god, look at Japan. But I am trying to make this mod more realistic, more interesting. Also, Egypt's getting stomped. This is 1939, so not very balanced. But so with that, I had decided to make this a thing. And so the UK makes us not a puppet. We become the leader of the Allies. The UK, when they do capitulate, will become in exile. So the exile mechanics work in here, in Canada. And Canada becomes a major. So we'll do that. And then we will... oh, there goes Cairo. There goes the British Islands, of course. This is so sad. There goes Birmingham. Should be pretty much over now. Let's see if it all works. Oh, there goes Egypt. And we are going to keep them as our government in exile just because we are the leader of the Allies now. Finland's doing its thing. And they should be dead once they take Liverpool. And, okay. So now you can see... we now host the United Kingdom as a government in exile. Their current legitimacy is 75. They have pretty high legitimacy. We were able to get equipment that was evacuated, but no divisions managed to escape. That's partly because we /deleted all of them so that Germany could invade really easy. And yeah, this is when the war would be over in the West if you're Germany, but now it's not. They don't get to get all of Africa in one fell swoop. They don't get to get colonies in Asia. They don't get anything. And they don't even get Ireland or the Isle of Man. So you could send troops here and actually hold out in Ireland, which I think makes sense. I mean, if I think about it, this would be a good like fortress spot. Now maybe I'll add something for Ireland to join the Axis so that the Germans don't have to invade Ireland. They can join the Axis and take this. Maybe that would be interesting. Let me know what your thoughts on that in the comments. But yeah, so now Germany gets to own that. Not own, control. They actually don't get to own it either. And look, we can do this. How fun. Yay. We get to do our little ex-commissariat. And that all works still. Look at that flag. It's very interesting. And yeah, you get to continue the war, but you're not ever at peace. Germany's not ever at peace. Canada can still come back. Canada doesn't get annexed. And Canada also takes control of this Canadian territory. And they also take ownership over the Atlantic possessions of the crown. You can see these places in Africa are still holding on, still collapsing. They're not completely annexed, of course. Look at this. Only in the 1939 start date would you see something like this. British Raj is still here, of course. So it can. Japan's still going to be threatened here. But now we have ownership over the Atlantic possessions, including Belize, including Jamaica. Fun fact: Canada actually almost took Jamaica in real life too. Bahamas and some of the Caribbean islands and British Guyana is now Canada. These African islands right here, and then finally the Falklands and the Sandwich Islands are now under occupation. And again, this only gives it to them if they are already owned by the British. So if you're playing as, say, Venezuela and you take this, it won't get automatically given to Canada, which is a thing that happens in some mods, but I'm trying to avoid stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what you think. I know this may be controversial just because it's obviously not how it works in base game at all. In base game, you would pretty much win the war right now. But I do think it's more realistic. Like I said, they would fight on. Maybe in the future I'll have some sort of like peace deal mechanic with them, or a conditional surrender that keeps their empire intact. And in exchange, they don't fight with Germany anymore, or something like that. I don't know. You could do a lot here, but this is where I've taken it so far. I do think it's pretty cool, but I know it might be divisive. But just let me know. But again, it is going to be update time tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what time, but it will be the 16th of May. I am in the East Coast of the United States, so my time zone might be very different than yours. So keep that in mind. But that is when to expect this. Anyway, that is about it. I hope you enjoyed this. Also, thank you. I have set up a new member thing. So now you can be a YouTube member if you want. There are certain perks to it. There are certain things that you get. I'll put it on screen, the different ranks you can do. It's pretty cheap. I've seen ones that are a lot less cheap. And it's just a way for me to get something, but also kind of make a cool little club in that way. And of course, I can't get ads yet. I have to wait until I get a certain amount of watch hours, and I'm still a little bit behind that. So if you are interested in this, if you read this and it seems interesting to you, just sign up. I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, if not, no problem. It's just something cool. That's about it. I'll see you tomorrow with the update video. The official announcement, and when that video is posted, that means that it is available for download. One extra thing, I have updated just like an hour ago. I have updated both Red Hoi 4, that submod, and the historical flag submod, because there was a Hoi 4 update 1.16.6 that fixed some bugs. They're still fixing their Graveyard Empires fiasco, so now you won't get the little yellow symbol. It will be all updated. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.